Ahoy, and welcome to a very special, pre-recorded, very important I say that, episode of Horizon's Call, as we are doing a special character feature with a very lovely mayor here for her character Acacia, our centaur, druid, rogue extraordinaire. Um, Before I get into all the other stuff, hi Mayor, thank you so much for spending this time
Hi, Derek.
and devoting so much to your character. I kind of said stuff about you. Is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself?
Use they, she pronouns. I play your star druid soul knife rogue who is, feels. That's all I
See, you did
got.
it better than me. Yeah, so many feels. As I said, this is a pre-recorded session, so while there are always incentives built into Horizon's Call, you can't really incentivize us because that's not how time works. You can't tell us what to do. You're not our dad this time. You be our dad next time, though, and you can tip our cast and crew, who all work incredibly hard, at the link that you can see in chat through Pally. It's pally.gg. You can always just go to Google and type in Pally and Horizon's Call or Pally and Sword and Key. All pops up there. Anything you are generous and able enough to tip can influence our game in many significant ways, like complications called black spots or crits or advantages. Lots of really cool stuff. I'm pretty sure there's one on there where you can name a ship with permission, and it's pretty lofty as well. But it's very much appreciated if you have a couple extra bucks sitting around and you want to send us a tip. Always very much appreciated, never required. So give it a consideration at least. I should also say this is a Sword and Key game. You can find all of Sword and Key's games and stuff in general, I should say, at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find the Pally link I was just talking about. In addition to tons of other stuff, you can join our Discord, hang out with cool folks, talk about cool things. You can see some of our affiliates. We have a number of fantastic affiliates, like Eldritch Foundry. They make custom minis, so they have one of the online custom mini makers where you can see your mini in 3 dimensions, customize them with mounts and items, no matter how weird and wild or normal and mild they might be. You can make a custom mini for them and even have it painted and ordered. It's pretty neat. You can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We are also was affiliates, well, that's the word, with Long Dog Dice, the very wonderful Jen, who typically joins our normal games as Callista. Our new cleric who's joined us is the person behind Long Dog Dice and has been wonderful enough not only to make incredible dice sets, but incredible dice sets like these, which are very custom. They're very shiny. Horizon's Call dice, they're very pretty blue, and they have the Sword and Key logo on them, which is pretty neat. So
I
you can
commissioned
get
my
your
own
own
set
sword.
and I'm so excited.
Absolutely. You can also send commissions to Jen just in case there is something on her website that is close to what you want, but not exactly there. You are always welcome to send in a commission form. But the official Horizons Call dice will be available for sale very soon. You can get the Sword and Key logo on them, and then also on the D20, on the D6, I should say. On the D20, you can get the Long Dog Dice, the little Dachshund logo, or the 20 on that. Tons of other great dice there, and you can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We're also affiliates with Hit Point Press, makers of Humblewood and Griffin's Saddleback books and Islands of Siena Una. Tons and tons of really cool stuff there. So we have a custom affiliate link if you're going to be purchasing anything from them. All that said, let's go ahead and jump into things. To set our general scene, our adventures of Horizon's Call take place in the world of Damaris, an oceanic post-diluvian world of pirates and seafarers and empires and kingdoms all scattered across an archipelagic. I think that's the word. Uh,
Archipelago? I don't know the
Archipelago
plural.
being the noun, archipelagic perhaps being the adjective. Um, a world of islands. There we go. Scattered across all of these islands are countless different cultures and peoples that all take to the sea for not only merchant ventures and not only just to travel, but also for adventure. So, as our party have fought demigods and imperial forces and felled great prisons and countless other things and made friends and enemies along the way. Some friends have become enemies and some enemies have become friends and some have kind of flip-flopped a little bit back and forth, and that is where our particular story picks up as Acacia, our centaur star druid rogue, was has been, continues to be in a way, a well-trained rogue adopted by parents who trained her in the ways of thievery and sleight of hand and stealth. She joined an organization called the Eve Walkers, which operate all over the world of Damaris in more of the altruistic type of roguery, but lean more towards the theft side of it. On her home island of Soteria, in her hometown of Cora, where her fathers had settled in their retirement, she made friends venturing to stand against imperialist forces that would have tried to take her home from her, and in so doing, joined with a number of great individuals who assisted her in this task, one of whom wasn't necessarily super helpful in that, but was presented as a rival. This rivalship has blossomed within our storytelling to develop as a friendship that existed long before the Acacia prequel, and has developed somewhat strangely over time as it came to light that this friend stole from Acacia, stole something very important, and then essentially was a turncoat on the Eve Walkers themselves. And so Panvir, a halfling rogue who has been friend then foe to Acacia, tried seeking refuge with an enemy, was found, was captured, was challenged with Acacia in a duel, and in that duel lost his eye. He was able to escape after that, but through some machinations and a weird night of intoxication, Acacia reached out to Panvir, who had since joined up with a rather nasty rogue organization in the world of Damaris, and Panvir found his way to Acacia. And in a dire moment where neither one was sure of what would happen next, they came to a sort of unspoken agreement, at least not to kill each other in that moment. And after that, Panvir has been living with Acacia for some time. Tensions high, words few.
Very awkward.
Very awkward living situation. And so, as well as some of our, we're recording this as of 5/29, so episodes might come after, before, whatever. This is going to be in the span of time between when Panvir encountered Acacia again and used the iron bands, and then chose not to kill her, and Acacia offered a residence to him to perhaps another point in time. It's going to be one of those weird wibbly wobbly timey things, but we're going to make it fit in as best we can.
I'm actually thinking this happens right after episode 11. That night,
Okay.
like after both Callista and Proximus end up at my house.
Yeah. So, okay.
It's that night, I think.
Perfect. Okay. So about a month into Panvir's residence, things have the tenseness has gone down a little bit, but the awkwardness still remains.
Oh God, it's so high.
So let's go ahead and pick up with that time frame in mind. So Panvir's been staying with you for a little while, has his own room, is still a little feral. It's definitely like bringing a feral animal into your house. Yeah, there's a lot of like climbing up on the counter, and
that's just necessary.
Yeah, but it's not necessary to crouch on the edge of it like a gargoyle, and stick his hands in jars instead of using a butter knife or a spoon. That's the choice part of it. So, like I said, it's been a little tough. He's not wiping his feet. It's not like halflings really wear shoes.
To be fair,
it's not like
neither
you really
does
do
Acacia.
either. Yeah, I was gonna say, which is more. She is shod sometimes, but those are not shoes. I can't imagine Acacia wearing Nikes. That'd be unsettling.
She only has her rubber mufflers for sneaking.
Yeah. So we can say, would you like it to be that night or the next morning? What does this look like for Acacia?
I think it's definitely that night. This is after episode 11, where me and Callista have walked in on Panvir, as you said, crouched on the counter with his hand completely in a jam jar, getting the jam off the bottom. He fucks off because he's all gross and sticky. And then Proximus gets here, and then Panvir walks in shirtless and wet because he fell in the well. I don't even know if I have a
Mm-hmm.
well, so it's either the well or the river.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
regardless, Proximus does grapple, and then we all kind of like separate out. Panver to his room, Callista to the other spare room, and Proximus is chilling in my quote-unquote room, which is just basically the main room with me. So I'm like thinking it happens like after that, after I think Proximus is, I don't know if Proximus is falling asleep. From the time Proximus has been having, according to Mikyl, maybe not, but when he looks like
Mm-hmm.
he's asleep, then.
Fair enough. Okay. So that night then, um, Panvir has gone to his room. Um, we can say that the rest of your housemates at this point,
God, how did I
yeah,
become the local hostel?
yeah, like you really are. Like a tavern exists. It's been repaired. Like apartments are a thing. You've been building houses for everybody, and yet somehow you've gone from a one horse house to
Three and a half
what
occupants.
three and a half occupants. Yeah.
I count like
In
two,
addition to
so
yourself.
maybe like
Yeah,
four and a half.
it's quite a few. Yeah, because you have Callista Proximus and then Panvir now. So Panvir has gone to his room as he was told, and shut the door behind. And night has fallen. The rest of the house seems to be still, and that kind of like past dusk part of the night. The stars are out. The bugs are chirping outside. There's a soft breeze that maybe blows through the windows just ever so slightly. Again, you're kind of a tropical sort of area, so it's that warm breeze that kind of cuts through. But as the night goes on, gets colder and colder, and you're kind of just left in this strange state of
Liminality.
noctur. Yes, nocturnal liminality. Absolutely. What would you like to do?
We also forgot about Piper, who's probably sleeping with his head under his wing in his nest.
Yeah, I like is
He
man.
said he was
I think of
building a nest.
he did. There have to be so many places where he could build a nest, and my mind thinks they're all good ideas. Like, is it the front porch? Is it the top of the
He
house? Is it the
builds
chimney?
multiple.
Is it the sink? Yeah, no, he's got places all around town. He's got little hideouts,
Oh, God.
but everyone is asleep except for, as far as you know, you.
So there's a lot of like twisting and turning and moving and just getting all the blankets wrapped up in my legs and limbs. Probably not a great situation for Proximus, but it's whatever. And at some point, I clamber to my feet, like look around, and summon just, like a couple like little bright starry motes. I have a new fun little cantrip called Starry something. Starry Wisp, which is basically kind of like a light spell, or can be used as a light spell.
Hmm.
And I look around and then just grab my staff, quietly walk over to Panvir's room and like stand there for like a good minute before doing like a series of knocks on his door that at one point were a signifier like, hey, it's me. Can we like convene, talk, do whatever that other than what we're doing right now? And then I just kind of wait.
Okay. You don't wait long. You actually, let's go ahead. Let's do a perception check real quick.
Oh, I didn't even grab my dice. Thinking it was a
I know
we're
we use
rolling.
dice for this. Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
You're fine.
It's a good thing they're so close to my desk. We're gonna use the fancy handmade dice. Not Jen's, but I got a 7 plus 14. So 21?
Okay, so 21. After you make that knock, it's when you realize it's that point that you realize that the shift in light, like the little bit of light that's coming from under the door, it didn't like it didn't extend in any way. There's the shadow that was coming through. Panvir was standing on the other side of that door, and you hear just this breath, just this, and the door cracks open just a little bit, and you see his little eye poke out.
Singular. Fuck. Which eye did I take again? Did I take the right eye? I think I took the right eye.
I think so. I don't know. There's been a lot of eye loss, and I tend to forget which
Yeah.
lost which one.
Let's just if let's just say right now, don't forget it's the right eye.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check to see if my notes include that as well. But at least for now, yes, he peeks out with the left eye and opens the door just a crack more as he kind of looks up at like your stature standing in this house, which is built much taller for you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you definitely get this this weird distortion with how small he is in comparison to you, in comparison to this home, in comparison to this door, which is built so that you can fit through it. And you can see that he's like really reaching up to get to the knob. Maybe even your house, built for a guest, perhaps has two sets of knobs
Yeah.
on it. But
A
he
fancy little
he
mechanism that'll work on both of them.
yes. But he looks up. Couldn't sleep.
Not really.
You have a house full of strangers.
Strangers to you.
I was wondering who was the strangest of them, and a word that it might be me.
There's a pause, and I just like shake my head slightly. Don't give yourself that first place medal. It's it's a it's a close race. Actually, I'll just say it's a close race between you, me, and Proximus because I don't know Callista that well yet.
Well, she didn't try to kill me, so that's points for her, I suppose.
Surprising because she's been in Dis for the last 15 years.
Hmm. Never had the pleasure. Always assumed I'd end up there anyhow,
Just don't go there.
as if I would have a choice at this point. What do you want, Acacia?
I want to talk.
Well, done. We did it. Good night. He goes to close the door.
Oh no, there is a hoof in the door.
Right. And he steps away from the door, and you're just allows it to swing open just a little bit. And what's in this room? This has kind of just been this amorphous side room. You have two side rooms. Was this storage? Was this a spare bedroom? What was the purpose of this room when the house was built, and has it kept that purpose?
Acacia specifically asked for two, like, just spare rooms, but she hasn't actually done anything with them yet. So both Callista's and Panvir's room were just kind of empty because she hasn't been around. She didn't have a lot of belongings to start with because she fled Cora. So basically whatever she had on her back, and she's only been here like a couple months stint at a time. So she
Right.
hasn't really had time to accumulate stuff. And whatever she has accumulated, it's mostly just like blankets, pillows, kitchenware, stuff that you would need to live. Like, I'm sure she has some clothes and there's maybe like a chest in one of the rooms. But
Hmm.
other than that, not a lot. So unless he brought anything in, she would have supplied him a cot if he wanted it, and along with like blankets and pillows. But other than that, not really a lot.
So, going in this room, you can see that the cot is still folded up. It's not been laid out at all. There is a like small nest of blankets in the corner that are like, just they have dirt on them at this point. Like the pillow, you can see like the outline of his head where he has been resting against it in the corner. It almost looks like he's been sitting up to sleep in the corner. And otherwise, this room is relatively barren. There is a window in here. The only other significant indicator that anybody's been here is the throwing knife that is sticking out of the opposite wall from where he's been sleeping in the corner, and the many knife holes, dent holes that he has left in the wall with a blade still stuck there.
Great. I'm going to ignore that because honestly, I did that a lot as growing up too, so it's fine. Um, I look in, I kind of like look at the other door, which would be to Callista's room behind me, and then off like where Proximus is just like, did you want to talk in here, or did you want to get away from other people who may or may not be asleep? Because I don't know.
At, at this point in my life, I'm not super excited to be around any people, so if you have somewhere else to go, I am happy to go there. Um,
There's a
at
lot.
this point, secondary locations aren't my main concern, with you at least.
Well, there's a lot of empty forest with nothing to hear us but insects and birds and lizards and stuff. So and there's just like a half-hearted shrug.
Fine, lead the way.
Yeah, I'll back up, quietly walk past Proximus in the kitchen. Actually, I walk past the kitchen and then I backtrack and like reach into a cupboard and then like grab something and put it in my saddlebag and then go out the front door with my little starry wisp and just go off to like probably like a clearing that I know is nearby that's relatively not super far from the house but enough.
Yeah, small clearing where a little bit of water kind of trickles down. It tends to gather at this low point and creates not a river, not a creek, barely like a water path, even in like times of rain. And it's dried up a little bit, but it's where grass tends to grow a little bit higher and flowers tend to bloom a little bit brighter. And as the fireflies are out and kind of twinkle through the night, you take this well-trodden path now to this clearing, and you can hear the slight swishing of halfling feet through the grass as you know that Panveer is following you, just silently, but also not trying to hide his presence in any significant way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as soon as like I get there, I'll just lean my staff against the tree, let the wisp do what it wants, and just kind of like stand there awkwardly for a minute. The big height difference very apparent, and I'll just like sit down,
Hmm.
which is still very tall, but it's better than being at full height.
Yeah, there's a rock nearby, and Panveer scuttles up on top of it and still is maybe at like stomach height, but a little bit higher up, and just kind of sits with his feet straight out, his legs straight out, and just kind of wiggles his toes a little bit. So, what do you want to talk about?
We didn't really get anywhere when you caught me. So maybe kind of continuing that conversation in a less hostile and intense environment. But we really haven't talked a lot in this past month at all. I don't think we've said more than like a dozen sentences. And it's mostly arbitrary stuff.
Okay, sure. We can have a conversation. I am not going to make any guarantees as to what this will look like for me or you.
Likewise.
And fair. I will promise to try to make it through this.
Not a lot of options or choices.
I could just get up and leave now,
You could, but
but I won't.
I was gonna say, I feel like you would have done that 2 weeks ago if you wanted to. Because you're still here.
I'm not sure what I want right now, but this doesn't feel bad all the time, and that's better than what I was. So, market improvement.
Okay.
How did you want to do this? Do you want to just make this open forum, or did you want to do a question for question sort of deal? Any ground rules you want to set? No weapons, I'm assuming.
I don't
I'm
think it really.
joking.
I don't think it really matters. I know you have plenty of knives on you that I can't see, and I'm technically never unarmed. And if that, I will do something I haven't done in a very long time in game and summon a psionic knife, which is a different color compared to when he last saw it. So last time he saw it was like a bright pink, and since I
Hmm.
really became more of a druid, it has turned to more of like a orangey grayish like nebula color.
Always wished I could have done that.
If I knew how it came about, I would have taught you, but I still do not.
Sure.
As we could start with questions and then play it by ear.
All right. What do you want to know?
Do you plan on staying? Or
For now,
more broad question, what is the plan?
oh, the first question was easier.
Yeah. But it doesn't really answer any questions.
I don't have a firm plan right now. I'm just trying to survive and from moment to moment. And here that's been easier than a lot of other places. For well, it's been easier lately. So I'll stay as long as you'll have me. And maybe not as long as that. I might just get tired or wily and run off one day. But I will try to leave a note if I do.
Okay. And I'll motion to him for his floor now for questions.
Do you want me to stay?
There isn't like a face. There is no like grimace or like anything that would show a negative, but there is definitely a pause. Yes and no. Yes, because I would like to be so there. I would like there to be a place where we don't try to kill each other. But also, no, due to, and I just like wave my hands arbitrarily to signify everything that has happened.
Sure. I see where you're coming from on that one. You're up then.
I know the actual technical answer to this question. So it's more of a your opinion question. You, I'm assuming, did this out of self preservation, but you're not wearing your hook anymore. Are you still part of the hooks? I know you can't leave the hooks unless you die. So I know technical answer is yes. Yeah.
But do I have an affinity, an affiliation, a bond,
Whatever you want
a
to call
devotion?
it. Yeah.
Sure. I've not reached out to any of them. I don't think there's, let's put it this way. I have just about as many eyes as I do people in the hooks that gave a single shite about me.
Yeah. From what I understand, there's a lot of turnover.
It's a rough and tumble kind of business, but it was a business I was half decent at. I I have no direct intention to return to them or let them know whether I'm alive or dead. And I'm hoping they assume that I'm just dead and they leave it at that. And I'm hoping that if I can keep my head down for long enough, they'll just cross my name off in the ledger.
I
So,
really don't like them.
well, the alternative is they find out I'm alive and they either ask me to come back and I say no, which at this point I would say no, and they try to kill me, or they find I am alive and I haven't come back or reported in and they decide to kill me anyway. Because yes, I have I have been hooked for life.
Yeah. When a friend of mine accidentally joined, she was very clear that you don't leave.
You had another friend that joined.
It it was wrong place, wrong time, and it was an accident. Under an
Uh,
alias.
Bold move.
She didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, few of us do. What can I, if anything, do to be better to you? You've done a lot for me. You've offered me a home. You haven't stabbed me in the middle of the night or even during the day, which you have every right to do. And I'm still not ready to fully apologize for what I did because I don't think I can just yet. So until I can figure out how to make my mouth say those words, what's something I can do to show you ah that?
Why isn't it something you can apologize for at this point in time? After 2 years? Because honestly, we've just kind of been sitting here and skirting around each other in the house, ignoring the big ol' issue in the room. And I just want to know, are you avoiding taking responsibility for what you did?
I know what I did. I know what I did and I know that it was wrong, but you wouldn't ask a hound backed into a corner to apologize when it bites. It's not because it hates you or it's mad at you. It's because it's scared and it's trying to survive. And I was scared and I was
Why didn't
trying
you
to
ask
survive.
for help?
I should have. I should have. But I didn't want to. I wanted to do something for myself because I felt like all
You're
I'd ever done.
you're not an island.
it felt like it. It felt like an island. I felt like an island that got visited from time to time that had bridges built to it, but those bridges were tenuous. And I just wanted to find a real connection and make myself something more than I was. And I didn't want to lean on anyone else. I was tired of using handicaps
It's not a
and
handicap.
asking for others is. Acacia, I've always had to look up, literally, to others. I've always had to reach up for others to hand me things, whether it was your family or you or the Eve Walkers or the people of Korra. I never had the ability to stand on my own 2 feet. And
That is a
I
group.
saw,
That is a community. That is family and friends. And the amount of time I've known you and the amount of time you've been there, I find it so hard to believe that you think that's a bad thing to do. Like, yeah, we were all thieves and ne'er-do-wells, but like, we were all there for each other. Like, my family, the Eve Walkers. Hell, Mama Maddie has done more for us than so many other people on the island. She was literally everyone's grandmother.
I remember there being one night after Candletide when I walked by you and your dad's house and I could feel the warmth coming out of it, and there was laughter. It had to be that your dad Curio had said some sort of funny joke, and I heard that from the window, and I was going to knock on the door to see if I could join you all for dinner. And in that moment, I remembered the dark, candleless home, hovel house that I resided in by myself. And that difference hit me like a wall. And I didn't knock, and I didn't make myself known, and I went back to that candleless, lightless, cold home, and I didn't sleep that night.
You know you could have knocked, right?
I could have.
You know you have it. You have
I felt
it.
like a stray. I felt like a beggar at your door asking not just for food, but for love and kindness and acceptance. And I hated having to ask for it.
It's not begging if it's freely given.
And every day that I am allowed to live under your roof, that becomes more and more clear that it was not what it was. I'm trying to rethink the way that I've thought for so long. It's just not been easy.
Life is cruel. Life is very cruel.
And in the face of that cruelty, I didn't think what I did to you was anywhere close to how cruel life could be. I didn't think you'd miss it, Acacia. I didn't think I'd hurt you the way that I did. And when I realized how much I'd hurt you, I couldn't face you. And I ran.
And then we know the story from here on out.
Most of it. I don't know all of your half, and I don't think you necessarily know all of mine, but chapter titles, at least.
I'd like to know what you've been up to in the time since I went to go find Metal Dad.
So When I took your necklace, I went to Shacklebreak, to Ogden, because I knew that he wanted it. I had heard through a fence that he was a collector of rare items, and your item was rare as far as I was concerned, and I figured he'd give me something half decent for it, and I could start anew on an island. But he seemed pretty interested in it, and he gave me more than I thought he would. And so I took that wealth and I traveled. And I should have traveled a lot further than I did. A few months later, I wasn't being as quiet as I should have, and flashed some Eve Walker signs at a tavern, and I got spotted and
Flesh Dad
brought
came
in.
after you. Yeah.
He wasn't the first to find me, but yes, he had put out the word for me.
Yeah, he put out the wanted poster. Or
Sure did. So Darius found me and tried to slap some sense into me. Not that much sense got through. I got dragged back to Cora, a place that I thought I'd never have to return to, and brought before the hand and you know that bit.
yeah.
When I lost my binocular vision, the day I became a cyclops, thought I'd be taller.
And stronger.
I ran something along those lines. I didn't learn to speak giant, weirdly enough.
You got you were robbed.
That makes two of us. I ran again after that in the chaos. And I went to South Bell and I caught a ship out of there to Validus. And along the way, I recognized some symbols from the other sailors, the hooks, and figured I might as well stretch the skills that I had for as long as I could for a little bit of extra coin and some shelter, and they seemed to appreciate my particular skills and training, and so they put them to use pretty soon after that.
And
After
you've been taking hits since.
there's a lot of blood on my hands. Been doing quite a bit of, well, murder.
I won't
But
lie and say
it's
I won't lie and say my hands have been clean either, so it is what it is.
it's a cruel world. You have to do what you can to make it through, and not everybody makes it through.
Yeah.
And then one night, I looked up to the sky and saw a message for me written in the stars, and no one else could see it. And I felt this pull to this place, a place I had never been before, and I didn't understand why the core of me was being magnetized towards this place, but it was. And then, short time after that, I got your message,
The drunk one?
that one. And so I boarded a ship, headed for this location, and along the way, I hid aboard an Imperial ship, rather rowdy one. Something strange in the hold, and when that ship ran aground, I jumped off before whatever was in that hold could get out,
Good call.
and then I hid in the woods for a bit until I could find you, capture you, and kill you. And that almost all went to plan.
Pretty good plan otherwise.
You're the first person I think I've ever set out to kill that I didn't kill. Quite an accomplishment.
You have a good track record. Put it on your resume.
I'm not sure I'll be applying to more jobs in the near future, but who knows?
Still impressive.
What about you? What have you been up to?
After you left, off to shackle break, Metal Dad went to go retrieve the necklace from Ogden and succeeded, actually. And on the way back, he got captured by Nereians and up towards the icebox. When he didn't come back right away, I went out searching and ended up near Bleak Watch. I met the rest of the group, and we actually broke him out and got rid of the prison in the process. So you shouldn't have to worry about that any getting caught up there.
No, I suppose not. I was wondering if I'd spend time there, but I suppose that's one worry to check off my list.
Villains all over the world are hooting and hollering, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Don't actually know how far the word has spread that Bleak Watch is no longer, but it is what it is. Headed back to Cora. Insert everything that happened on Cora.
Hmm.
And essentially became a wet thief, a pirate, with the group. There's a lot that has been going on, but that's the quick answer. A lot has been going on. I punched Ogden, too.
Oh, well,
He deserved
you
it.
had it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
That was the nicest thing I could do to him.
did I say that he's living on the island too?
Correct. We broke him out of his own vault.
Your group has a strange pattern.
Which is...
Giving homes to frenemies?
I was against helping Ogden, actually.
Oh, well,
Scarlet is the one who is really vying for it. They apparently had history prior to me meeting them, so she felt like she owed him to break him out. So, but it was also good to and nice to wrest his home base away from the Nereians. So,
well, I have heard that Shacklebreak is not looking like it used to these days.
shackle broken.
It's a good one. So that's what happened before. That's how we got here. What happens? Well, we talked about the amorphous future, but I guess my question still stands. What do I do, Acacia? I'm compassless in an open sea at this point. I more than ever feel like an island, and
You got at least one
I
bridge.
think I'm just looking for a heading. I'm looking for a direction. I'm looking for something I can do. I don't want to just sit in that open room and throw knives at your wall until I'm old and grey.
Yeah, I would prefer you not continuing throwing knives at my wall until there's a hole.
I don't know. I don't want to go back to where I was, and whatever it lays before me is hidden, and that terrifies me. And you have been kinder than I have any right to extend what grace and patience you have, but
Still pissed, but
fair, fair. And to be fair, I am too.
glad we're
Not
on the same
necessarily,
page.
it's good to have things in common. What are you doing next? Are we just going to live like ghosts passing in a house?
God, fuck no, or else I would have not talked to you. God, I really don't want that. It's, for
Okay.
one, awkward as hell,
Eh,
and it's not productive. It's not easy, but things that are worth it are never are.
sure.
My Another reason why I wanted to talk to you and try and figure this out was because I'm leaving again soon. We're setting sail soon. That's the reality of it. We have our own plans, and I know folks are worried that us being here is just going to cause more problems for the civilians. And regardless, I'm going to be setting sail, but I don't want to leave you here flailing in a house that is far too big for you with too much space, and I don't mean it in the literal sense.
You're not wrong, sure. So, what? Am I gonna come sail with you?
Thought passed my mind, but it's not something I'm going to force into you.
You want another wet thief then?
Well, you were already a wet thief. You fell in the river tonight, so whatever. But if it means putting you on the ship without notifying the rest of the crew, so be it. If you want to come. If you want to keep working on it. But I know that tagging along might feel too much like before. But if you want something different, it's an option. Alternatively, I'm sure I can convince my dads to hire you at the shop if you want something.
You're gonna leave me in the island to get murdered by others. I see how this goes.
To be fair,
I'm kidding.
I did make them promise they would not kill you. And while there are Corins here, it's not all Corins.
You do have quite a hodgepodge of a home these days.
Yep. It's very hodgepodge. We had to go somewhere after Cora. So we cleaned out the pests here and got to work.
Hmm.
But there are plenty of options here if you want to do something that's not related to crime. And more crime if you want to do something but a little different. We're working with the Rose Crests and helping with the fencing trade.
Go ahead and give me an insight check, please.
Sure. It was the Rose Crests, right?
You are correct.
Okay. I knew it was Rose something. Oh, I got an 18 plus 9.
Great, that's really great. When you mentioned the rose crest, you see this is a trained assassin. This is a trained thief. This is somebody who has um,
Plenty of experience.
been Yeah, this is somebody who's like, I have to imagine the Eve Walker's like, listen, here's some anti-interrogation tactics. Here's here's how to be a lie detector. Here's how to work around a zone of truth. You say things that are like essentially true without actually giving any real information.
Yes,
Uh,
correct.
yeah. Um, but there is a moment where you say the rose crest, and you also have been trained to pick up on people who are trying to hide the truth. His
Also,
eyebrows,
I've known him
yeah,
for a
please.
fucking long time.
You have. And you see like in this dim light with your motes of light about with like the fireflies about um his nostrils flare, his pupils dilate, his eyebrows raise just like a centimeter, but it's enough that you have said something that has thrown him just ever so slightly.
What's that? What is that?
What's what?
Don't bullshit me. What about the rose crests?
I would prefer to not have any engagement with any of their representatives if that is at all possible.
More than. More than. Do I need to
Uh,
kill someone?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Does I feel like this question should have come up earlier. Who all knows that I'm here?
Literally the people in the house and my dad's.
Okay, let's do our best to keep it that way, please.
Okay.
Just would like to.
Keep living.
More than that, I have no intentions of going ashore on Hillholm. Please.
No one's forcing you there.
Good. And I'm glad that we can agree to that. I have. Yes. Thank you.
Well, if you still need someone killed, I know my fair share of assassins. I don't know if Laurel is still active, though. I don't know if she's
Laurel's on the island?
Laurel's on the island.
All
She
right then.
she might have figured out on her own. She's very observant, so but that's none of our faults if she figures anything out.
Sure. Hmm.
Do you want to talk to her?
No, no, she scares the shit out of me. Thank you.
Yes, but she's a pretty decent person. I'm sure she could teach you a thing or two if you wanted to hone your craft.
Just worried she's going to bite me. I
You
don't like.
you would taste bad. She's not going to do that.
You think I taste bad?
I'm going to make the assumption yes. You said yourself you're like a feral raccoon. And I think you falling in the river was the first bath you took this week.
It's true. I've always hoped I've had sweet blood though. I don't know why. I don't want to encounter a vampire, but I also hope that they would like. It's nice to be wanted. You know what I mean?
Not like that.
Well, you take what you can sometimes.
You'd probably taste bitter.
Probably.
So, did you want to sail?
I think I'm gonna have to think about it. like I said, I didn't have any plans of leaving this island. Not soon, anyway, but the idea of staying here very much longer also tends to make me itchy. And I have fallen in the water recently, so that's not just me being filthy. That makes me itchy. I'll get back to you.
Well, you might only have a couple days. I don't know when we're leaving, but I'll let you know when your answer is due.
Mhm.
I'm sorry for taking your eye. It was
I think you
unnecessary.
I think you took it as much as I gave it in that moment. I think that was a moment where I had hoped that you had just gotten me in the throat, and it was a lesson that you took my eye. I wish I would have learned the rest of the lesson earlier. But I also took quite a bit from you. So, an eye for an eye, or necklace, more like
More like trust.
trust and
That
friendship.
that was what hurt the most.
I understand that. Mary, you mentioned that Acacia put something in her bag on the way out. Was there something in particular that she grabbed?
Yeah. So she just rummages in her bag and just pulls out a bottle of liquor.
Great. Um, any particular kind?
Oh, it wouldn't have been the what Winnie just made me. It'd be probably something very hard, just like a maybe a nice aged brandy.
Great. Okay. Perfect. Um, you have a high enough past perception that we're not going to do a check for this. You pull out the brandy, pop the cork, and
Did you,
right as you go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna ask, like, if you did you want some? I figured it would be not the worst thing to have if we needed something to help loosen our tongues.
He just nods a little bit, kind of tips his head from side to side. Sure, why not? And slides off the rock to come over to you. It is when he's about halfway across this little clearing to you that in the taller grass and the flowers, you hear a rustle and what kind of sounds a little bit like a chirp, just a and poking its head out of the tall grass is this little brightly colored, crested, reptilian-esque head, these really bright blue eyes on it, and the head just kind of pokes out on this long neck. It's small, maybe about like the size of like a cat, a large cat, the cat's head, the head that's poking out on an elongated neck, and it looks up at you and goes, "You willing to share, love?" Let's go ahead and take a break right there.
Is it cute?
I think it's cute.
My first thought was fairy dragon or pseudo dragon.
Fairy dragon. Yeah.
All right, let's take the quick break. I'll be back.
Yeah, let's take 10 to 15. Pet your pets, do the things. Enjoy your ad reel. We'll be right back. Again, this is pre-recorded. Remember that. It's important. Vast and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to a special pre-recorded episode of Horizon's Call. This is a special character spotlight with the wonderful Acacia, played by the even more wonderful Mara here. let's jump back into stuff. You and Panvir have been conversing in a clearing, and near the center of the woods on the island, near your home,
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix Landing. Some heart to hearts have been had, and some yeah, I don't think necessarily like movement has been made, but still tension's perhaps a little high. Um,
Stubbornness is still there.
it's still there. Growth is slow. Time is an ally. Um, but as you have pulled out a bottle of brandy, a small draconic head, blue, these bright bluish green eyes, has poked out and has spoken to you. Its mouth kind of moving just a little bit as it says, "Are you looking to share, love?" And that's where we'll pick up.
What language did it speak in? Did it speak in common?
It sounded common to you, although I think you more than anyone else would realize that it wasn't heard audibly, it was heard in your head.
Got it. I just kind of look at it, and then I look at Panvir, which I feel like I'm like half holding out the bottle to him, and it's just we both pause. Sure?
Oh, wonderful. I was terribly hoping that you were the charitable sort, especially since I assume that you're the one that's been leaving all of the goodies for me out here, and I've been terribly grateful for that, by the way. Um,
You've been eating my
yes.
scraps.
Scraps. Ah, a banquet is what they've been. Yes. Friend for life you have in me. And yes, as I mentioned, terribly grateful. So, yes, I will happily partake in your emotional moment of inebriation.
What's
Sorry,
Panvir's reaction to this?
he's like reaching for his secret knife, one of his many, and he's just like looking up to you. Acacia, is this a friend, foe, or food?
Do I know what this is, Derek?
Go ahead and give me, just for Acacia's sake, give me an Arcana or
It's all the same.
maybe Nature
It's
check.
all the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
A 6.
It's draconic.
Yeah, it's
I
draconic.
yeah. It's like a cat-sized dragon as it kind of waddles its little body out of the tall grass, and you can see that it has these folded wings that whereas a lot of dragons. I'm trying to think if you have seen a pseudo dragon
I
in
don't
this game
know.
before. Can't
I don't think
remember.
we have.
I don't think you have either. But you have seen small winged creatures. I mean, you know what a bat is, you know what bat wings look like. You know dragons often will have a variety of wings, but some of them are those like phalangeed kind of wings with the leathery bit in between. And then you have the tressums as well, which are more feathered. This is neither of those. This is almost like a weird composite of like a butterfly wing and a leathery dragon wing. It kind of has almost like a rounded nature to it, and it folds not with like with the little claw and the again the fingers. It folds much more like a butterfly wing, like behind it, and then also
Mm.
folded down.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. And it has a crest on its head that also is very indicative of like if a butterfly wing was to be a crest around the top of its head.
Yeah.
And again, like these bright, almost like cartoon, like baby animal kind of eyes. These just like big pupils, bright greenish blue, these little snaggle teeth that poke up from the top and bottom on its slightly extended jaw. And on all fours, just this chubby little thing just comes waddling out. And yeah, Panvir is kind of looking to you as to like, what's the move here?
I just like look at him and do like a slight shake of my head. Uh, I don't think this is any of those. I think this is an acquaintance. I look at the draconic creature as if for confirmation.
Sure. We're acquainted now, ain't we?
Yeah, you've been leaving me the little trinkets that I've put in my bowl.
Yes, that has been me, in fact. And you are the large horsewoman who is so generous enough to share your bounty with, as of yet, an unknown entity, which is me. Hello.
Does the unknown entity have an alias or name?
Oh, that's a very sensitive question where I come from. Um, yes. Do you?
I do. Something
Well,
that screams Fae to me.
I think that is fair.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
is a fair assessment. Well,
What can I call you?
friend, can I call you the same?
Yes.
I tell you what, if we say our names at the same time, then neither of us owns the other one.
Mm, I'm good. And like I will like look around for something suitable to put the alcohol in a drinking vessel for this creature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have anything because I did not, and that not seeing anything like a leaf or a divot in a rock, I'll just like hold it out to it, open
Okay.
up,
Ah, it does.
like a shot.
Yeah. That would also be a very sensitive thing where I come from, is accepting food and drink. I tell you what, you have shown me trust and hospitality and kindness.
Take a sip of my
I'm just going
own.
to tell you my. I'm going to tell you my name. I'm going to do it. I am going to be Briv.
You don't have to. I'll hand the drink over to Panveer, who's probably baffled. Is he?
No, no, I've listened in. I've dropped so many eaves on your conversations. I owe you something. I don't want to be in debt. Ah, debt. I know, I know. I'm not going to tell you, but you can read it. I'm going to write it somewhere. Where am I going to write it? Mm. Uh, Waddles over to the rock where Panveer was and puts like its paws up there. And as it does, you can see this like sort of illusory magic image. It doesn't necessarily give off light of any kind. If anything, it's kind of like blue paint is being spread across it. And you see that it spells out Dribodyne.
Sorry, D.
Dribadine.
Okay, Dribo.
Mm-hmm. Dyne.
Dripodine.
Dribadine. Drib, and it erases the last part. Dribbo. That's me.
Hi.
Hello.
And I'm sure you've been eavesdropping enough on our conversations to know who we are.
Yes. Dramatic Huffling, dramatic Horse Girl.
Dramatic.
You have quite a lot of trauma that you both have shared. It's very interesting.
That's one way to put it. Read like a
Mm.
book.
Red for filth. Are you friends? Or are you going to kill each other? Because either way, it's going to be entertaining for me. And I can sit back if it's the second one.
That's a great question. We're still figuring it out.
We'll let you know. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, thank you for the scraps and the alcohol. It just stares off into the distance, like a firefly just buzzes past and just the eyes catch. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, since you've been eating my scraps, just so you know, I am going to be leaving soon, so they might not be there for a little bit.
Oh my, where are you going?
East.
That's fair. Terribly non-specific.
We're making a bunch of stops.
Huh.
All right, well, I will be here, I suppose.
You seem like you and Piper would get along very well. If you want someone to
Oh,
talk to.
sure.
The seagull?
Yeah, they're talking about we're friends.
You're friends already.
Mm, I've met Piper. We like to hang out. We play cards sometimes.
Piper can play cards?
We mostly just hold them sometimes, like people do. We go, hoity, 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 I'm playing cards. Here's one with a lady on it.
Oh, no. Okay.
We pretend to be people that can play cards, is the thing. That's how we play cards.
Good to know.
Hmm.
I'll make sure to have some fish before I go and leave it out for you.
Oh, I like fish. We have strange fish where I come from.
Are they
Some of them
edible?
taste very funny.
Oh,
Everything's edible once, if you think about it.
that's true.
Some of them make you feel funny.
I'll take your word for it. This is the most peculiar night. Acacia just is flabbergasted.
Well, I'm gonna go so you two can either fight to figure things out.
It's appreciated.
Hmm. If you ever need me for anything, go into the forest and scream, Dribbo! Where the fuck are you?
I'll do that.
Alright,
I'll see you later, Dribbo.
maybe.
Maybe.
Bye then.
Does he just waddle out again? Does
Just
he even
waddles into the
fly?
grass. The
He
grass just
doesn't.
parts.
He
No,
doesn't even fly.
no. Why would he?
I look over at Panveer and just give him the look that conveys, did that just happen? Did we see that both the same thing? And like that, just that type of look.
We've only had one shot. Was that
We didn't
was
even
that a
have a
fully
drink.
ado?
We didn't even have a drink before it showed up.
What is your life, Acacia?
This was news
Why do
to
these
me.
things just keep coming to you?
I don't know. This is new. Like, I knew something has been eating my scraps and leaving little trinkets in that bowl I have on my counter, but I didn't know it was that. Some kind of fae.
You're like a magnet for the weird.
Yeah, and I motioned to him. Like, this is not news.
That's rude but fair.
My dad's my dads are an oddity to start with. It just kept going.
Yeah, you weren't really set up for a lot of success in the normalcy department.
Correct, yes.
Okay, well, that bit aside,
That can be your friend if you stay.
that's okay. I see what you're doing. Yes, fine. I will seriously consider going on the ship with you.
Not
I'm
what I
not
was
going to
meant.
leave out.
Not what I
I'm
meant.
not going to leave out a bowl for that thing because at this point you might as well build an addition onto the house. Acacia, you're just going to have the weirdest apartment and all the demorris at this point.
I'm just gonna make like a little doghouse outside with like a little roof on top for like a little nest for Piper. Another little nest for Piper. Oh my god, did I just get a whole Snoopy idea?
You've very much done a Snoopy and Woodstock sort of vibe. Absolutely, yeah. Just red baroning it with each other.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why this keeps happening. The life of an adventuring and piracy, I guess.
Yes.
Well, like if you join me, it won't be boring. Been to the plane of fire.
That's again, you're every time I think you're selling me one way, you say something that will push me in the opposite direction. All right,
Did you hear we killed Eula?
sure, okay.
Oh, I'm serious.
I never had the pleasure of meeting her, but I sure heard the stories. How'd you manage that one?
I'm
Okay,
trying
what was that?
I'm trying to figure out how the best way to explain it without you continue like looking at me again like I grew a third head.
I mean, at this point, you're a practical Hydra. Just give it to me as straight as you can, and I'll do my best to accept for what it is.
I like pull out my little trinket necklace from under and I just like point to it. This combined with other pieces turns
Hmm.
into an astrolabe and summons down bits and pieces of the elders, if you remember that from history lessons, which are basically amount of power, and then we used it to kill her.
And remember the elders from fairy tales?
History.
Um, so is that what you're doing out east then? Or are you just asking me to board a ship to an unknown heading?
We're heading to the mid seas first.
All right.
Proximus has some, best way to put it is, family matters to attend to. And then we're gonna go farther east and steal something from the Nereans. Maybe cause a little. I won't speak for everyone, but I will be causing some pains in the asses over there.
Feels like I'm going in one big circle. You want me to go back to where I came from then? And I just can't help but feel that that's all that I do is just try to leave a place, end up back there where someone's trying to kill me, and then
To be fair, though, if
so
you're
far
doing
I've
a
made
lot
it
of
out.
traveling, it's gonna be the same thing regardless. Eventually, you're gonna run out of places to go to.
Suppose. So say I join you on the ship. What am I part of the crew? Am I just a passenger? What do you expect me to do along the way?
Gotta figure that out, which will involve another conversation with Scarlet. Though, honestly, I'm not keen to talk to her right now. She's been a real bitch.
Well, I heard about her wedding and her house and her husband's eye and her arm and her packs, and I feel like she has.
She has plenty of reasons, but not to take it out on a random person who just came back.
Is it better if she does it with somebody that she knows?
It's she's should be seeing Constance like the rest of us and talking out her shit there. Sorry.
No, you're allowed to have your opinions.
She
Just
can, if she's gonna be a bitch, she's gonna have to accept the consequences of her being a bitch.
I
Is
think
really
we
what it
all
boils
have to
down to.
accept consequences eventually.
More worried than anything else, but anyway, you were asking about stuff on the ship.
More than just the ship, what do I do once we reach our destinations? What do you want me slitting throats for you now, Acacia, or am I just there as emotional support? Am I your companion halfling? Just there to
God,
bring your heart rate down?
I hate this. I hate how you worded that, and I don't have an answer for you. I am just giving you options, and you can come with us if you like. Drop you off anywhere you want, as long as it's on the way. In the end, I can't be the one to tell you what to do with your life. I can make suggestions. I can try and help you for as much accept assistance you will accept, but the only one who can really decide anything is you. And honestly, throwing it back in my face of like feeling like you're second best always and just having to follow me around is kind of annoying and pissing me off because you're complaining and complaining, but you're not really doing anything about it to fix your circumstance right now.
Okay. Okay.
Would I like you to come? Yes. Am I gonna make you? No.
I must wish you were. I think that's, yes. You are right. You are right. Being compelled to do something is so much easier because you just do it then,
How's that been
and you
working
don't
out for you?
poorly. But I haven't had the, okay, the last time I did something of my own accord, I set a series of dominoes in motion that essentially ruined my life. Every time I've done something that other people have told me to do, stuff's worked out because it's their fault. It's not really mine. It's scary having autonomy,
Yeah.
Keisha. Yeah. So I'm trying now in this moment, and I am going to say that yes, I will
It's
come aboard your ship with you for a time and not jump off in the middle of the sea.
that would be appreciated, the jumping off part.
But I would like if you could offer what support you could towards helping me to take my first steps into this autonomy. And I know the irony of saying that.
I can
And I'm
help.
not asking for help.
I can be your emotional support horse.
That's good, just in case we need to fly on a magic carpet.
I'll just carry you and fly off.
Oh, you can do that now.
I can.
It's new.
There has been a
You've
lot
got
of
a,
new stuff.
because you've got a different vibe to you now.
Aesthetic?
Hmm. Sort of,
I've dipped into magic.
hmm but the more,
Choose your words carefully.
I'm trying not to say hippie or tree hugger, and I'm going to say naturalistic branch of magic. Can you turn it to skunks and squirrels and that sort of thing then?
Yeah.
Do you still have 6 legs?
6 limbs?
Sure. But they'd be legs if you were a squirrel, I guess.
I have the proper amount of limbs for the creature.
Hmm. Right. Well, that's less of a nightmare.
Do you want me to be a 6-legged squirrel?
Not particularly. I was just curious. So, how did that all come about? Why are you all that crunchy?
Why did you have to say it, phrase it like that?
I just assume you eat a lot of granola now.
I always ate a lot of granola.
But now it has like a connotation to it.
It just happened. I kind of fell into it. That's the I there's no other explanation for it.
Sure, that's how it works. You just fall into learning magic.
Yeah, in this case, yes. When trees start talking to you, you kind of have to listen.
Okay, you're not helping the stereotype. That's all I'm saying.
I'm aware. Makes you feel better. I still know how to stab real good. Haven't lost my
Sunlight's never
touch
changed.
sneaking.
Sure, it helps to turn into a spider to do that.
There are better things to choose than a spider, though. Too easily squishable. Not as nimble or as
Sure.
fast. A Tressum, on the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good choice.
So, I will go sailing with you then, you and your friends, and try
When
not to be in the way.
when am I allowed to tell them?
This is your mistake. You get to tell them whatever you want. I can be a stowaway, if you like, and I can be, oh, I'm so sorry I stowed away in your ship. Oh, what are you going to do to me? No, please, Scarlet, don't throw me overboard. Acacia, please help. And then you can be a hero about it.
Yeah, that's not how I would prefer things to start. We don't need another similarity of what Proximus did to you happening again. Because
Proximus, no, we're Cyclops brothers.
Scarlet's gonna be more ruthless than Proximus would be.
There.
She has the cruelty to fall back on from when she was working for Eula.
Well, perhaps she and I could have a chat about that then. So what happens if they say no?
I'm not giving them the option because Scarlet's on my shit list right now. And honestly, I don't think anyone else knows you on the crew. At least not the Mercy.
Suppose we'll find out.
Yeah. If anyone knows you, it'll be Winnie, Proximus, Scarlet, and whoever was on the Redemption when we were in Korra. But I don't sail on the Redemption, so it shouldn't matter.
All right.
And yeah, Scarlet's on my shit list, so she does not have a say. What is she gonna do?
Kill me, throw me overboard, feed me to something, have Marcus
Yeah,
burn me alive.
no, she's gonna have a real hard time with that.
Oh, come into my defense, are you?
Not that you need it, but it would be a 2-against-1 fight, so it'd be a little easier.
Don't want you to fight your friends, Acacia. Now that you have them, you
If
might as well keep them.
If she doesn't want me to fight her, she shouldn't be acting so fightable. Just saying.
Well, look how well fighting out your feelings worked for you and I.
We're not dead.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't plan on dying anytime soon.
Last
you?
words of a dying man.
Do you plan on dying anytime soon?
I don't have any plans. I'm just hoping to be surprised. And if that's with a quick death, then surprise!
All right, I'll be the sensibility and life preservation for the two of us. I have shit I need to do. So
A mighty flotation device you are, keeping my head above water.
I'll try. Before I forget,
Yes.
do you have any ways to breathe underwater?
Oh, I can't even swim.
We need to fix. How have I never known you can't swim?
I don't know. We didn't exactly have a lot of beach days. And I think the very few that we did have, I did stay firmly on the sands. Never had a need to. I plan to just stay either with my feet firmly on the boards of a ship or firmly on terra firma. I said firm a little too many times.
All right. I will kind of clamber up to my feet and just do like a big old horse stretch, forward, back, stretch the human limbs.
Big stretch.
Big stretches all around. All right. Is there anything else you need to bitch at me about or yell at me about? We
No,
good?
I was going to just throw knives at the wall all night. I figured this was more of a catharsis for you. I will say that I regret having to be in this place with you in this moment. I regret what got us to this place, but I don't regret how we have gotten here from where we were shortly. I regret, but I am also thankful.
I will like put one hand on his head and ruffle his hair, which I don't think he's liked previously.
Yes, the height difference is so fun when you do that.
That's a good start. That's a very good start for an apology. Thanks.
That's not what it was. I said I regret things. I didn't say I apologize. I said I implied that there was remorse.
Mm-hmm. That's the start of getting to an apology.
Just let it go. Just let it go. Is there anything else you want to bitch at me at? Or about? Or to? Or with? From? At?
No. I just have one thing I want to throw your way before we head off to our separate. Maybe, I don't even know if I'll be able to fall asleep, but abodes.
Is it a knife? Because I'll catch it.
No, it's not a knife.
Oh, you said throw something. I just.
You also have
Alright.
plenty of knives.
I do.
You have so many knives.
Hmm. At least 2 butt knives. One
Derek,
for each cheek.
Derek, did I hear that right? Butt knives?
Butt knives. One for each cheek.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, and I just turn around and start walking back to the house.
All right. Okay.
And
You see these little feet scurrying after you.
and before we go separate ways, I actually want to go into probably where I just keep all of my adventuring gear and like quietly rummage. And I want to hand him the necklace of adaptation that Fia gave me.
Okay.
If you wear this, you won't drown. Please do not drown.
All right. I'm not putting it on now because it's a bit funky.
Yeah, as long as you shouldn't have to wear it, as long as you keep it on your person. Magic
Okay.
items also tend to change their appearance sometimes as well, if you don't want it as obnoxious.
Mm.
It is shiny. I'll give you that.
It's shiny, the exact thing an assassin wants to be wearing. Thank you for the drowning prevention. I will hopefully never have to put it to good use.
It's drowning prevention. It's a lot of other preventions. Just we'll work on the swimming part, but at least you won't drown. You'll just sink very, very deeply until the pressure kills you.
I now have the first part of my plan, and it's not to die like that.
Learn how to swim.
I have the second part of my plan now.
Learn
It's
how to
forming.
swim. Learn how to swim. I have
Learn
faith
how to
in you.
swim. Don't die from crushing pressure of deep oceans.
Good night, Panvier.
I hope it is for you, Acacia.
We'll see.
He goes to turn and turns back for just a moment, and you're standing, right? Just like reaches up to like the haunch where your leg kind of meets your hip, and just reaches up, doesn't look, just pat pat, and then just walks over to the room and slowly closes the door behind him.
The most awkward of nights.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a start.
It is a start. And as that night goes to end, what is the rest? Do you rest? What does that look like for Acacia? I don't know if sleep would come easier after that, or whether your dreams would be racked with the concept of butt knives. Like, what is that the rest of that night look like?
I think it's definitely easier than before I started talking to him. Definitely able. I'm not turning restlessly like I did before, so Proximus isn't getting accidentally kicked every 10 minutes. And
Yeah, Proximus, I'm gonna put this on Mikyl. I have to imagine that Proximus snores when he's out of the water. Like there's amphibious sleep apnea.
oh no.
His secondary lung system is not as operative.
His gills are just like flapping like a
Yeah,
rat.
just flailing a little bit, bringing air.
But I think she is able to get a little sleep. It's probably very late, so she probably doesn't get too much sleep, but it
Great.
definitely gets some sleep. And do I hear the sound of knives hitting wood from the other room?
You don't. No. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Hell yeah, I can do that. Come on, D20. Got a 15 plus 14. 29.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I think as you are resting, closing your eyes, and there's that dead silence aside from like the soft snores coming from Proximus near you. Callista, has taken off her chainmail so she's not shifting and clanking through the night. Piper is well asleep in his nest.
Snoring like...
And exactly, yeah. There's like a little feather. His feather is just like blowing up every time he snores. From the other room, as it kind of like almost echoes down the hallway ever so slightly, you can hear Panvir's voice talking to himself. And it's really hard to decipher everything that he's saying, but you can like make out at one point, what the fuck was that? And after a little while, the noise stops, and it is just that dead silent of the night, where even the insects have stopped their chirping, and it's just that deafening silence of the only maybe ambient sound being like the wind blowing through the windows and shifting the curtains ever so slightly. And sleep does find you, and it is restful and uninterrupted, and as far as you can tell when you awaken, dreamless. And dawn rises over the horizon. The sun casts light over Phoenix Landing once again, and a new day has been gifted to you all, a new day of opportunities to build whatever this is, whatever this relationship is with Panvir. No longer entirely antagonistic, no longer entirely based on animosity, some mutual respect. The first rungs of the ladder, a very long ladder, towards where you were before.
See how it goes.
But you both seem to have a firm grip for now. And at least a short-term plan of what this looks like next.
We'll see how it goes. Gotta teach him knots if he doesn't know them already.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got sleight of hand. I have to imagine that, like, knots, he has at least basic ones. It's all the sailor's knots that he needs to figure out. And then also the other type of knots where you're using them to measure stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to make another wet thief. You've got to turn an assassin into a pirate, and not even a swashbuckler assassin.
Hey, technically you can reassign archetypes. I don't know.
Technically?
I don't remember how the mechanics work for it, but technically.
Yeah.
God, I cannot see him being all swashbuckly like Marcus, though. I can't see it.
No. The swashbuckling halfling is a fun look. It's a very Peter Pan sort of
Oh
vibe,
my
like
god,
sticking
really?
the knife in the sails and driving down with it. Um, but yeah, let's see where this goes next. As your plan is to go to sea, and whatever happens next, I don't know what
I
that's
don't
going to
know. I don't even think we
be.
know yet.
No, this
We
is
had a very broad plan last time we talked,
just
and that
making this up. Yeah, making this up as we go. Flying by the seat of our pants. And join us next time as we fly by the seat of our pants even more. Um, this has been a very special pre-recorded character spotlight for Acacia of Horizon's Call. I need to come up with a title for this. I'm sure I'll have one by the time that you're watching this.
yes.
Yes, I would love to have Mare say more about themselves and where you can find more of all the stuff that Mare does, and then some general channel stuff because I don't know when this is going to release. And then we'll wrap up for the evening. So, Mare, where can we find more of your lovely self in the most general of senses?
You can find me on all applicable social media at Archmage Dice. You can find me on Sword and Key doing some stuff, depending on when this comes out. I may not have run my charity game for Pride yet, where Sword and Key will be raising money for Lambda Legal. I don't know. We'll figure it out, because time does not actually exist.
Time is an illusion. Yes, as of the time of recording, throughout the month of June, we will be raising money for Lambda Legal. This may come out well after June. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Uh,
Hey,
we
maybe we'll
sure
have a
will.
cancellation and then we can just air it then.
We might. That's when this is gonna happen. When this is gonna play is when we're taking a break for something. So hell, this could be October when Kayla's getting married. Who knows? But whenever you're watching this, you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. I am Derek Sword. You see him pronouns. I have been your Jim for this game and many games here on Sword and Key. I'm the sword half of Sword and Key because Sword is my real last name, and yes, it's awesome. And no, you can't have it. Please check out beacons.ai/Sword and Key for all of Sword and Key stuff. Right up at the top is Twitch. If you're watching this pre-recorded but live on Twitch, you've already gotten there. Great, you found the link. Go ahead and give us a follow if you don't mind. As you scroll down, you can find the YouTube. You can also give us, you can subscribe to that and watch all of our previous episodes. The second link down under Beacons is our Discord. Hang out, be a member. Hang out, be a part of our community, talk with cool people about cool things, see our applications when they come out first. We are always going to be putting out applications in the near future. That just seems like a constant for us. So we're always going to have new stuff on the horizon, pun intended. We also on our beacons have some of our wonderful affiliates. We are affiliates with Long Dog Dice. The incredible Jen is the fantastic creator behind Long Dog Dice and makes amazing dice sets like these official Horizon Call dice that are very pretty blue, vibrant blue. And the D6 actually has a Sword and Key logo on it, which is pretty cool. It is very detailed, even though if I get it super up to my camera, it's going to be blurry as all hell. But there is a full dice set that I have here, and you can order these dice from the shop. Hopefully, by the time this is being released, these are available on the Long Dog Dice shop. So check that out and use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We're also affiliates with Eldritch Foundry. They make custom minis, no matter how weird and wild or normal and mild your TTRPG character might be. You can make a custom mini of them and use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We're also affiliates with Hit Point Press, makers of Islands of Sina Una, Griffin Saddlebags, all the Humblewood stuff, the graphic novel and the plush and the minis, and there's music stuff. There's tons of cool stuff on Hit Point Press, and you should use our custom link if you're going to be purchasing anything from them. Let's see. You can also find links to the Pally for Horizon's Call if you want to tip our wonderful cast and crew. You can always influence future games. Obviously, this one, not one of those because it's pre-recorded, but if you did tip during this stream, it will get paid forward to our next stream. So you can give crits advantages and complications, all sorts of cool stuff. Check out our Discord for our events as well as our Google Calendar. Again, I don't know when this is going to come out, so I'm not going to talk about any future stuff happening right now. Just the amorphous June is Pride Month, and then we'll have in July, we're going to have SummerSlam is the plan right now, where we're going to have all of our 5e characters joining us for a special Battle Royale-esque tournament sort of vibe thing that I need to get all figured out. And I'm sure by this point I figured it out. Good job, future me. Um, that's it for us. Thank you again so much for joining us. Until next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of others. If we're going to be rating anybody tonight, spread some positivity over there. And till next time, fair winds and following seas, brave mariners. Bye.
Bye.